Good morning, everyone. My name is Lena, and today I'm speaking to Ala, who's actually now in India, but she will tell you more about the story when I introduce her properly. So, Ala is a yoga therapist and also a teacher. And I met her through LinkedIn about two weeks ago or so. And when we connected, it was quite funny because we realized that apart from, our like for yoga, or my like, I guess, Ala is more professional. I just kind of try to do yoga. We both also speak Russian, which was really great because I don't get to practice Russian too often. But we'll try and keep this all in English. So now I just want to pass over to Ala, who will introduce herself and tell us more about who she is and how she helps her client with some of their serious health challenges through yoga practice. So Ala, hi, it's really good.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, thank you. All the way from India on the other side of the world. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you for joining me today.
Oh, hi, Lena. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be on your podcast and to talk to your audience. So thank you for that. So hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Ala, and well, how do I introduce myself? So I'm from Australia, originally from Ukraine. And a long time ago, I was doing modeling, and I came across a model who was a yoga teacher, and I got inspired and decided that I wanted to pursue this because I started to experience some good health benefits from that. And I used to suffer from scoliosis. I used to have a lot of back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain. My body was quite stiff. And so I started to notice some positive changes with my health, with my physical, with emotional, mental well-being. And that was a long time ago that I've been practicing yoga. I started as a practitioner first. I only became a teacher years afterwards. Then I lived in Australia, and I used to teach children, and I used to even teach children's yoga and meditation for many years. And then something happened where I became quite unwell. So my health started to deteriorate on all the levels. And I didn't know at that time about what was going on. But this is when I decided to come to India and to study Ayurveda yoga therapy, because I was inspired to do it from my housemate, who was Indian, and she knew a bit about Ayurveda. So I came to India end of 2019, and I studied. And then after some time, I started helping people at the Ayurvedic retreat to also help them to overcome the health issues similar to what I was having. So I started to see how yoga and Ayurveda started to help me to improve my well-being, improve my health. And so I started to help others. And then lockdown happened. So I got stuck. The retreat closed down, unfortunately, and everybody left, and I got left behind. And I've been here for more than a year. So stuck in India, and this more than a year journey of healing and transformation happened for me, where I was applying the Ayurveda and yoga to myself, what I've learned basically from the best teachers here in India. And things started to improve in terms of my health. And so now my inspiration is to help people who are in similar situations, who are suffering from health conditions, and they are looking into holistic remedies or holistic lifestyle, I would say, because yoga and Ayurveda, they go hand in hand, and you get the holistic treatment basically. So yeah, that's about me.
That's really interesting. I mean, from going to Australia to now in India, it's like just all over the world. And it's great, like what you're talking about, your personal journey, because obviously you've been through it, so you understand that what people are going through, and there is so much. I think being obviously locked down in homes, apart from mental mental and emotional stress that I've had, on some people, it's also the physical discomfort that can result in some illnesses manifest. When you combine our physical, emotional, spiritual bodies, and all of them are completely like a misalignment, it can really manifest as a serious disease. There are obviously various ways of helping, but Western world is kind of really beginning to warm up more and more towards yoga. So it's not like something, completely out of their realm of known. It's more something that a lot of people can resonate with. And it's brilliant what you're doing, because I can see how it can help so many people. But what I want to understand, because I think in the West, and I've been obviously practicing yoga for about a couple of years now, on and off. But for me, I think we spoke about it before. It's been Bikram yoga because it was a hot yoga and I really felt my body working out. And then it was more Ashtanga and Vinyasa. So I still like that, feeling like my body is working out. So what is this? I can't even pronounce. Ayurveda? How do you say that?
Ayurveda.
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 How is yoga different from what we're doing in the West?
Yeah, I love what you said, first of all, about the koshas, or the bodies that we have. So how we get affected on the physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, spiritual well-being. And definitely it is important to look into all the aspects of ourselves when we approach our health, and not only look at the physical. So when you talk about the physical part and people enjoy like a strong workout, they're only looking at the physical aspect of themselves. So they identify more with their physical body. So because maybe the styles are popular in the West, actually they're not traditional styles. I do teach more traditional yoga. These styles, they've been adopted by the West. So they've been changed and modified to suit, so that people would work out, so that they would look at that physical aspect, which all in itself is good. But the problem comes when we take away the ancient science of Ayurveda, because we are all unique, right? So everybody has a very unique constitution that they're born with, and that happens at conception. And that's something that stays with us throughout life. And then what happens is we get affected by our lifestyle, our thought patterns, our food that we eat. And this is all the aspects of Ayurveda: the lifestyle, the food, the thought patterns. We consume our thoughts. Basically, it's a subtle energy, but we are consuming it. Yeah, it goes in, right? We get affected by our thoughts. So without this aspect, if you only look at that physical practice and you don't understand so basically what happens, imbalance happens. And that's what happened to me, right? So I was practicing yoga for many, many years, and I thought I'm doing the right thing for myself, but I was not aware of my constitution. I was not aware of my imbalances. So I was doing, on some level, I was not helping myself. On some level I was. So yoga was definitely helpful on many levels. And I know many people experience that, oh, I had such a great workout. Maybe they leave behind some tension. Maybe they leave behind some something that happened during the day. Yeah. They've let it go. Yeah. But it's not holistic, right? Because it still may not suit their constitution or whatever imbalance they're going through. And I'll just give you an example, just in case it's not clear what I'm talking about. So for example, if the person has Pitta dominance, right? Like the Pitta is the highest, let's say their constitution is more Pitta, or their imbalance. Pitta, so Pitta in Ayurveda, there is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? So Pitta is combination of fire and water. So everything is made of elements. The whole universe is made of 5 elements, and we are part of universe. So we're also made of 5 elements. And so the combination of specific elements make up these humors, or these forces, or they also call doshas. So Vata, for example, is air and ether combined together. Pitta is fire and water combined together. And Kapha is water and earth combined together, right? I'm not going to go into details because that's like a whole other topic, but just to get some clarity what I'm talking about. When I talk about Pitta, I talk about that fire energy, right? So that heat. So there are people who have more of that heat in the body. So they're more affected by Pitta, right? So they have more internal heat. So when you get exposed to more heat and you are, perhaps you go to Bikram yoga, you go to hot yoga, or you go to power yoga, and if you're practicing it vigorously, and Pitta also has a tendency to be competitive and to the natural leaders, so they want to achieve and they want to do it the best, right? So they would push themselves even more, and they would think, I'm getting such a great workout, and I'm so great. Yeah.
You're about me. Absolutely, like 100% me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. I've met many people like you who have this tendency, right? So that's Pitta energy that is coming through, right? And and this is the people who are attracted to those styles of yoga because it gives them this kick, this competition, this like, I'm going to show myself what I'm capable of and I can do it. And so they have this drive, this energy of leadership, right? So what happens is they create more heat in the body, right? With the hot practices, with this competitive mentality, with pushing their body way beyond their limits and way beyond what's necessary, that can lead to burnout. It can lead to chronic fatigue. It can lead to stomach issues. So maybe ulcers in the stomach, maybe some blood issues. It literally like boils your blood. It can lead to anger. It can lead to frustration. It can lead to
blockages, right, that you can create. I mean,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And so people may not know, well, how am I getting, like they may not connect the dots because there's not enough knowledge of Ayurveda spread in the Western world. I know there are many people who are doing it now, but it's still, many people don't know what it is, right? Like what Ayurveda is. But if we understood our constitution and what is unique about our body and what is unique about the practices we need to do. So this is when Ayurveda yoga therapy is so great, because it's tailored for your specific constitution to balance you out. So Pitta person, or like somebody who's got Pitta imbalance, or they're more dominant with Pitta energy, they actually need the opposite. They need to be cooling their body, right? They need to do cooling practices to balance out because they already have enough heat, right? So to bring the balance, you need to bring the opposite quality, which would be the foods that are cooling for the body, the practice of yoga that is more cooling for the body. So instead of doing like Ashtanga, hot yoga, power yoga, Bikram, it would need to be something more relaxing, right? It would need to be something a bit slower and a bit more mindful in terms of not pushing your body too much. So you would engage and then you would let go also. You would engage and then you would let go. So there is no burnout that happens, and there is no creating too much heat or too much fire in the body. Does it make sense?
Yeah, completely. So now, I mean, I've got so many questions now, and I know only said like 10, 15 minutes, but I'm like, I'm going to go longer. I don't care.
Yeah,
People don't want to listen to, I don't have to, but I'm enjoying this. So first of all, how do you know which kind of person you are? So obviously there is, you know, I mean, what you described is me, but I'm sure there must be other elements present. Is there like a way to test myself? How would I know?
Yeah, absolutely. So there are different ways you can do it. So one way to do it is to go and see Ayurvedic doctor, if possible, right? So this is just one option. If you
so I can say something. I've met somebody who's an Ayurvedic doctor, and he sent me this whole list of questions to do, but like some of them were really invasive and personal. So I've answered them, and the result he produced, I was like, that's not me. There's no way. None of this is me. So
okay. So I don't know, maybe find a really good Ayurvedic doctor. So you might need to contact somebody maybe in India. I don't know. Right now there's a lot of online okay, maybe then I don't know, try again, or I can recommend somebody to you. I know a lot of Ayurvedic doctors after being in India, and I've done Panchakarma, which is like a cleanse Ayurvedic treatment that you do to cleanse your body. And I've connected with a few Ayurvedic doctors. So that's not an issue. There's way to get the consultation and to get the results. And ideally, of course, you want to see that person in person, because they can take your pulse and they can examine you better in person. But because of current circumstances, it might be a bit difficult. So the next best thing is online consultation. And the other next best thing for people who can't afford to pay for Ayurvedic consultation, that's also an option to do online health test. And I can give you a link you can post underneath in the comments when you do this post. And this is the test developed from my Ayurvedic teacher, who I honor a lot, and he's also an author and a lecturer, and he came from that background, that lineage of Ayurvedic doctors. And so he's got an online test that you can do on his website to determine what your current imbalance is, right? So if you don't have imbalance, it will tell you your constitution, what you've been born with. But I can guarantee you have imbalance, because it's very rare nowadays to find people in this kind of lifestyle that we live. And also after this circumstances that's been happening, that will be completely balanced. I mean, myself included, like it's a work in progress. It's constant dance trying to find that balance. It's not like you find that balance and suddenly everything is fine, because you get affected, the environment, the thoughts, something happens. You have to monitor what kind of thoughts you're consuming. So to get out of balance is easy, and so we need to be more mindful of that, and to constantly check in with ourselves and have that awareness of ourselves. So to answer your question, it is. So you can do this online test, and there's other tests, of course, but this is the one that I just know. I recommend always.
I think that would be really useful. So now when you say, let's say, obviously there's a lot of fire. I know I'm that way inclined. So are you suggesting then I shouldn't really do other types of yoga, or, like, let's say weight training, which I've been doing a lot of recently? Or is it like more kind of to balance it out? What do you think?
So it would really depend on how imbalanced your Pitta is, right? So it would depend on any other conditions that you have right now, right? Like if you're suffering from something specific, that would need to be put into account. That's why the programs I developed, they're holistic. So they don't look only at your element. They don't only look at your imbalance. They also look at your overall health. So if you have, for example, Pitta imbalance, and you also have some issue related, I don't know, let's say you suffer from migraines or headaches, or you've got, I don't know, maybe you're stressed. That's also part of Pitta.
Stress, because, I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, stress is also like, it's related to Pitta imbalance. So things like this, they also have to be included when making decisions about what kind of practice you need, right? Because I'm not looking at you as a Pitta person, right? I'm looking at you as holistically from all the perspectives. So you're a unique person, and you also have unique needs, right? So everything needs to be put into account when you determine what kind of practice you need. So I can't say you definitely should let go of all your practices you're doing now and start doing only a yoga program that's designed specifically for you. You may be able to, if your imbalance is not that bad, right? Like maybe it's a little bit of imbalance. Maybe there's not many issues. You might get away every now and again to do some heating, like a hot class or something. But you need to be mindful, because you need to then check in with yourself and see, is this creating more problems for me, or is this helping my condition or not? You may need to experiment. I would recommend just if you have that imbalance, to try the yoga program that is meant to help to balance Pitta, and to see how you feel and to notice any difference, just so you can compare for yourself how you feel before and how you feel after, because that's sometimes the best way to understand. Because for Pitta person, when I'm saying for person with Pitta imbalance, it is very hard to not do those things, right? To let go of it, because this is how they think.
Well,
They
I
would
mean,
think
the
I'm
last
not getting any work out of this.
exactly,
So like, it's just boring. Okay. Like, I don't feel I'm challenged enough. And so
exactly.
for them, the challenge is in,
To let go.
yes. Yes.
And I know,
So Pitta,
look, I mean, for the last 20 years, I've been, I've run ultra marathons and marathons. I'm very, very active. I've cut down a lot now, but still, I mean, I work out about 4 or 5 days a week, like either
sure.
weights or run. And then I do power yoga 2 to 3 days, on top of that. But that's still a
Mm-hmm.
very little compared to what I used to. I used to do a lot more than that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, my body's under a lot of beating, but yet, like when you say maybe it's good just to, like, let's say, give it a week and see how I feel, I'm going, I can't let go. What
Yeah,
happens? My
exactly.
biggest fear, it's always been related to my weight. What happens if I don't exercise? And that was my next question. What happens if, say, if somebody, I mean, I'm not trying to lose weight, but, I mean, I could maybe do 1, 2 kilograms, but I'm not really worried about it. But just to maintain your weight, or how I used to be completely obsessed about my body image. And that's why I would run a marathon, thinking, well, then if I eat those calories, then I'm not going to get fat, and that's all kept going through my mind. I would add up my calories every single day to see how much I've eaten. And then I would beat myself up, and then I'll run longer the next day. So by letting go of my exercise, let's say, and then focusing on the yoga, I'll be hardly burning any calories. So how would that could impact someone's weight?
I think with this, what you need to look at as your thought pattern, because it's all the idea about your weight is in your mind, right?
Well, the
And
scales don't lie. I get on the scales and I can see also.
yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is that what is the reason of having a specific number on the scale? Like, what I'm saying is we can look at the health perspective of an individual, and we could look at what society expects of us, or what you think society might expect of us, or you think what other people expect of us to be like, or to look like, or to perform like in the world. So we need to examine our thoughts. That's what I'm trying to say. What is the reason to have this certain number on the scale? Is this making you, how is this helping you with being at peace and healthy and living a more holistic and balanced lifestyle, just by having that goal achieved? Again, this is a pitta imbalance classic, because you have an idea, you have some goal to achieve, and you want to hammer on that as much as you can. But if you stop and examine and ask yourself, what is the point of all of this, and how is this making me feel good, or is this not making me feel good, and who decided that I must weigh a certain number of kilograms to be a happy person, right? Like to have a happy life. So this kind of thoughts is the kind of thoughts that would go through a person who's got pitta imbalance mind, right? This is not just you, it's pretty much everybody who has pitta imbalance would probably think similar kind of thoughts, that there is some kind of goal to achieve, and that somebody decided on that goal, and you agreed in your mind that that's what you need. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you need. You think that's what you need, or you think that's going to make you happy, or you think that's going to give you something. But what is it at the end you're getting, right, from doing this?
Getting into a pair of trousers, right? And that then at the end of the day, if you let go, you're just not going to feel good in your body. But then again, it's, as you said, it's your thoughts, because the thoughts will not create reality. And if you keep on thinking, well, if I don't run, if I eat more calories, if I do this, I'm going to gain weight, then you will. And I perfectly know people who not even think about it. They eat whatever they like, and they are so slim because it just does not enter their minds. So I guess, it's just reprogramming a lot of patterns and old beliefs, I guess,
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And that's a part of the program I do as well. Like, it doesn't look only at the physical aspect. It just brings me back to that conversation we had about physicality, that because it's holistic, it looks at your mind, it looks at your prana, it looks at, the meditation part. So you're not only focusing on that physical aspect of yourself and completely disregarding or denying the other aspects of yourself or the other bodies that you have, right? So with the programs, so I'll just give you an example. If let's say I have a client who's got Pitta imbalance, and let's say they have similar things to what you're experiencing. So the kind of things I would design in the program, it would start with intention setting. So that's why I said the mind is important, because if the intention is not right, like intention is creating more of those kind of thoughts that make you doubt yourself as, you know, your physicality or how you supposed to look like in the world, appear to others or yourself, right? This is judgment that happens. That's all Pitta imbalance. So setting that right intention, that helps you to take this intention that does help for that specific type of person, right? Who has this kind of thoughts. And you take this intention throughout your whole practice. So you connect with the intention at the start. It's called dharana. And you take that intention with you throughout your practice. So your practice doesn't become only that physical hammering on your body until you exert yourself or injure yourself. It becomes very paced, okay? So for Pitta, that's the biggest challenge, to pace yourself out, to not get ahead of yourself with your practice, because they just want to do the hardest pose. They want to do the best expression of the pose. Yeah, they want to look around the class, like how everybody else is doing, I need to do it much better. Okay, so they don't think, is this good for my body? No, they will think, I want to be the best of the best in the class, and I'm going to check if I am, and if I'm not, I'm going to just push myself just a little more until I knee pops or something, you know. Well, hopefully not, but you know, it happens to people that they injure themselves. So that starts with the right intention. Then you look into pranayama, which is your breath work. So the breathing exercise, there's a specific way that you can breathe that will help to cool down that Pitta energy. So the specific pranayama that will help to cool down that Pitta energy with the breath. And then there is a vinyasa that helps to learn to engage and to let go, to engage and let go. So there is this connection with the body. So you become aware that you're not overly doing it, and that you're connected to your body and you're listening to your body, and you're combining movement with breath. And the asana practice helps with specific issues you might be having, like specific condition. Or if you don't have any issues, then it would just simply be for balancing your Pitta. And it finishes with dhyana, which is meditation practice. And that again, you embody that intention that you set at the start of the practice. So if your intention was that relaxation, that creating that balance of and the relaxation in the body, then at the end you embody that feeling of letting go and relaxing and just being. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we have a class tomorrow, so I'm really, really looking forward to trying it. And I'll record it, and then also I'll make a short clip, you know, to share with anyone who might be just interested as to see the actual practical side of it. So it's been absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I'm just conscious of time. So
yeah, sure.
Where can people find you if they wanted to find out more about, you know, how you can help them, or just more about what this yoga is?
Yeah, sure. So you can put the links later down so people can see, but they can look me up on my website, alayogatherapy.com. Or my programs are also listed on Fit My Time platform for yoga teachers. So it's called Fit My Time. So maybe we can just put the link and people can have a look.
Yeah, let's do that. So, okay. So Ala, once again, thank you so much. It's been really, really interesting. I've learned a lot of new things during our half an hour together. And I hope our listeners also got something new out of it. And everyone, enjoy your day. And thank you for listening and watching.
Thank you so much, Lena. Thank you, everybody.